Here's something you don't see every day. A granny and grandpa on a wanted poster. Fugitives on the run.
I'm Rob from Fox 2. Can I ask you some questions?
Get that out of my face before I shove it up your.
This was a story that involved millions in missing dollars. A dupe and downriver couple that ended up outlaws. Their investor's dream, just a Ponzi scheme. I spent 3 years covering this conniving couple's journey from family folks to felons. Let's go behind the story on Richard and Rita Ripoff. In 2009, I interviewed a bunch of worried people in the Oak Room at Fox 2. Most of them were realtors who told me they'd invested their money with a lady named Rita Goslin, who said she was buying houses and fixing them up. She would purchase several houses free and clear using investment cash. Rita's husband's construction company would then fix up the houses and Rita would sell them for a profit. Soon, investors were handing Rita thousands of dollars for her to buy these homes. And it seemed things were going gangbusters.
I thought I was doing great. I thought I was kind of feeling like a Wall Street guy. I was making money.
Rita was paying huge dividends, so people invested even more money and got their friends and family to invest. Ponzi schemes are really cruel in that way because they turn their victims into fools who end up losing not only their money, but also their friends and family members. I've busted a bunch of people in my career for running Ponzi schemes. Michael Winans, the singer, Mike Skupin, the guy from the show Survivor, and a guy named Ed May who ran a Ponzi scheme that took in $350 million. Believe me, I know Ponzi schemes. They all work the same way, so I'll use Rita Goslin's scheme to explain. Rita was a big shot who lived on Grosse Ile, which is an island in the Detroit River south of the city. Rita said she knew all these bankers and mortgage people, so she was credible. She was going to buy these houses that were foreclosed for cash, and then her husband Richard's construction company, which by the way was a licensed construction company, would fix up the houses and she'd sell them for big profits. Now remember, this is 2009, so there were a whole lot of foreclosed houses at the time. So let's say you're a realtor and Rita convinces you to invest, say, $10,000. Remember, she's credible, so she promises you're going to get $5,000 once she sells the house. So you give her the $10,000. A couple of months later, she comes in and she's got $15,000. Here you go. Here's your money back and here's your profit, $5,000. It was easy. I didn't have to do anything and I just made $5,000. So I say, well, take the $10,000 and try it again. Next thing you know, she comes in a couple of weeks later. Here's another $5,000. So all of a sudden, the other realtors in the office notice that you got new clothes. You might have a new car. You're rolling in the bucks. Things are going great for you. So they start asking you, how are you affording all this stuff? So you tell them, I know this lady, Rita Goslin. She's got this deal going where you invest $10,000. You're going to get $5,000 more in a couple of months, and it just keeps rolling and rolling. She's buying these houses. She's selling them. Her husband's fixing them up. It's awesome, and it's easy profit. So Rita doesn't even have to do any more of the selling. I'm doing the selling for her now. I'm convincing my friends and other realtors to invest in this thing.
Chose to invest $70,000 with Rita.
72,000, I think, altogether.
I'm out 45 grand.
So here's the deal about a Ponzi scheme. There's usually not any real product. Yeah, Rita was buying these foreclosed houses, but Richard wasn't fixing them up and they weren't selling them. And eventually the realtors kind of caught on that something was fishy.
By the time that our dividend was to be paid, she was nowhere to be found.
I sat for days watching her house and nobody ever came outside, but the dog would come out. So I decided to walk up the driveway and sure enough, the doggy started barking at me and out came Rita Ripoff.
I'm Rob from Fox 2. Can I ask you some questions? Rita?
Let me get my dog. In.
Rita's more focused on dealing with her dog than in dealing with me.
In. Go. Go.
Rita, are you ignoring me?
Sure seems like it.
Okay, will you come back out and talk to me then?
Go.
At this point, I don't know if she's talking to me or the dog. I guess it was me because she heads in and closes the door.
Rita.
And that's the last I hear from Rita Ripoff. After my story aired, the Attorney General's office charged Rita Goslin with running a Ponzi scheme that took in $2.5 million from investors like these people. Richard Goslin was charged as well for bilking mortgage companies out of $2 million. They were actually double dipping. They were getting money from the investors, they were buying these houses, and then they were mortgaging them. So they made a fortune off this. It was a gold mine. But they both got arrested and they were charged, but they had a lot of money, so they bonded themselves out and they were on electronic tethers. The day of their trial, they didn't show up. It turned out they cut their electronic tethers and disappeared. Next thing you know, Granny and Grandpa Goslin are on wanted posters all over the country. They were wanted criminals for almost a year. No one knew it, but they were actually hiding out under aliases in a little town called Humboldt, Tennessee. The couple raised suspicion at the Humboldt, Tennessee McDonald's because I guess they used to come in there every day for their egg McMuffins in the morning, but they wouldn't talk to anyone and they just seemed unfriendly and aloof. That raised suspicion in a small town like Humboldt. So the U.S. Marshals Department starts looking at the footage and they recognized Richard and Rita Goslin, wanted criminals, eating every morning at the Humboldt, Tennessee McDonald's. Next thing you know, they were McBusted. I remember sitting in the courthouse when they finally showed up. I mean, remember, they were ghosts for like a year. Nobody knew where they were. The Goslins pled guilty to the fraud crimes. Here's some outtakes from their sentencing.
It's caused me a lot of grief.
Rita and Richard showed no emotion in March of 2011 as some of their more than 80 victims told Judge Annette Berry how they'd been cleaned out by the ruthless couple.
I will pray that you find it in your heart and ask the Lord for forgiveness and make your wrongs right by returning what clearly is not yours.
Richard was cold as ice.
I don't understand what I was supposed to do. Was I supposed to cry?
Rita Goslin was sentenced to 5 to 20 years in state prison. Richard got off with a 1-year sentence, but was ordered to pay $1.8 million in restitution, $100,000 of which was due before he was to be released from jail. But guess what? Richard was released just 6 months after his sentencing, and he didn't come up with $100,000. He came up with just $1,200. And he came up with this gut-wrenching letter. Dear Judge Berry, my name is Richard Goslin. At my sentencing hearing, you asked if I had any remorse. I was too upset to think of an answer at the time. Grab a tissue, there's more. Through all of this mess, no one ever asked me what I lost. Apparently, 4 things he didn't lose were these 4 houses the court says he got by defrauding mortgage companies. Well, I thought I was done with the Goslins, but the next thing you know, I'm getting calls from people living downriver in houses, and they're saying Richard Goslin is coming by, shaking him down for rent money.
That's our landlord? Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness is right. How's a guy who was ordered to pay $1.8 million in restitution collect rent on homes he bought while he was stealing money? Any answers, Richard?
You, get out of here.
What an SOB, huh? Then there's Michelle, who's been paying rent on this house to one of Rita and Richard's victims, who claims he now owns the house she lives in.
There was a letter on my door. The letter was from a man named Richard Goslin stating that he doesn't know who I'm renting the property from, but he is the actual owner of the house, and I am illegally renting it from someone.
While these people are spooked, the people who lived in this house are gone. According to neighbors, Richard threw this family out because they wouldn't pay him. What's Richard Goslin got to say about all this? Let's find out. Hey, can I ask you about these houses you're renting out? You fill me in on these houses?
Get that out of my face before I shove it up your.
Come on, Richard, fill me in on that.
Hey, I'm all done
You
with that.
own these houses?
No.
Well, you're collecting rent from people. Yeah, you are. I talked to me. You got that van from that family the other day. Do you own these houses? Have you paid back any of the restitution? Come on, Richard.
Out of here, you.
Give me your side of the story. What's your side of the story?
I don't have a story. I'm done with it.
Well, you owe $1.8 million in restitution, don't you?
That's none of your damn business.
Well, it's the court paper.
You, get out of here. Why would somebody shoot you, dumb?
Pretty threatening statement, but technically not a threat. He just wished someone would get me. Well, God got him. Here's his obituary from 2023. It says, Richard enjoyed playing golf, relaxing with a nice motorcycle ride, and spending time by the ocean or on any beach, especially in Florida. Rita Goslin spent quite a few years in prison, and she's out now, and I don't know where she is. I don't blame her for laying low. Most of those people never got any of their money back, so they probably are not fans of hers, to say the very least. And in fact, I talked to one of the realtors just a couple of years ago, and he told me not only did he not get any of his money back, but his friends and family members wouldn't speak to him anymore. That's why a Ponzi scheme is so evil. Not only does it ruin people financially, but it also ruins them emotionally. And those scars can last a lifetime.